do you get gas cards, fuel cards, fleet credit for your business without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check? That's exactly what we're talking about during today's training. We're going to introduce you to fuel cards, tell you what they can be used for, how to get them. We're going to talk about underwriting requirements that you need to meet in order to get approved. We're going to talk about building your business credit to be able to get high limits. I mean, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 limits on individual cards without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check. Along the way, I'm going to include my best tips and tactics to help you get the most money at the best terms. And if you stick around to the end of this training, I'm going to get you access to our step-by-step business credit building guide that's been downloaded over 1 million times. So needless to say, it's very popular, that will map out the exact steps in detail to build your business credit. We got a lot to cover, so let's dive in. So fleet cards, fuel cards, they go by a lot of different names, but the idea here is that you're getting credit cards in your business name, and these credit cards are used to be able to primarily get fuel for vehicles, also do repairs and maintenance of vehicles. Now, these cards are offered through all different kind of sources. We've got places like WEX fleet cards that can be used in multiple different sources. And then we have vendor-specific cards, places like BP, Chevron, Sunoco, Pilot Flying J, that can mainly just be used at those independent fuel stations. So if you have a vehicle or a fleet of vehicles, these are very important to your business because this is how you actually can get the vehicle maintained. It's how you can get repairs done. It's also how you can fuel that fleet as well. So how do you get approved for these? Well, the great news is even as a new startup business, you're able to get approved for them. The problem is that they're going to ask for a deposit and a guarantee if you haven't established any business credit yet. So there's two ways to get these kind of accounts. You can do this before you build any business credit, need a guarantee, need a deposit, or you can take a few steps and get this kind of credit without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check. So let's talk about both ways. The very first step to getting approved is you got to improve your fundability. Fundability is what credit issuers are going to look at to determine if you should be approved or not, whether you have or don't have your business credit established. So you want to have an entity set up, preferably a corporation, maybe even a partnership or an LLC. Stay away from being a sole proprietorship. You need to have an EIN number. You can get that at irs.gov. You want to have a professional website, professional email address. You want to have a real business address. Now, if you don't need a retail location, you can look at virtual addresses, or I should say virtual offices, different than virtual addresses. A virtual office is offered through places like Alliance, DaVinci, or Regis, where you can actually rent a mailing address where it looks like you occupy a big high-rise building here in Tampa, Florida, but the reality is maybe you're just working from home. Very different than virtual addresses. Virtual addresses are iPostal, PO Box, UPS. Those you want to avoid at all cost. You really don't want to use a home address as your business address either. Don't get me wrong, some sources like Amazon will approve you with a home address. Other sources like Walmart won't. But nowadays, you're even seeing Dun & Bradstreet put Google Street Views of your business address on your commercial credit report. So if you don't want a picture of your house on your commercial credit report, one more reason you want to avoid using a home address. You want to have a business phone number. Don't use a mobile phone. Don't use a home phone. Lenders and credit issuers, their technology tells them right away what kind of business phone you're using. So you really want to get a voice over IP or an actual business phone for your business. If you could get a license for your industry, your state, even your county for your business, you want to get one that gives you a lot of credibility. You also need to make sure your phone number is listed with 411 and get a DUNS number with Dun & Bradstreet. A lot of these fleet sources, whether you have business credit or not established, they want to make sure that you actually have a DUNS number with Dun & Bradstreet. You can go to creditsuite.com/DUNS, D-U-N-S, that's creditsuite.com/DUNS, or just Google free DUNS number to be able to get that DUNS number. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and Dun & Bradstreet will try to call you and sell you their credit builder. You want to avoid that call unless you want to be sold something you don't need. You don't need credit builder. The DUNS number is 100% free to get. You'll typically get it within about 2 to 4 weeks from actually applying. Now, once you've done these things, and I'll get you access to our free guide at the end of this training where you can learn more about fundability. But once you've set your business up the right way where it's fundable, now it's time to start building initial business credit. Now, typically you can do this two different ways. You can use a program called Credit Line Hybrid. With Credit Line Hybrid, you can qualify for up to $150,000 in credit lines, 0% rates. They report to the business credit reporting agencies. You can get these even as a new startup business without cash flow, but You have to have good personal credit and be willing to provide a guarantee to go that route to build initial business credit. If you don't have good personal credit, you can use that of a guarantor. So if you have a family member or friend that will let you use their credit to qualify, then you can use that, get credit line hybrid, get your credit lines, and use that to start and grow your business. The other most popular way of building initial business credit is what's done through starter vendors. Now, starter vendors are vendors who will basically give you credit when you have them. They report it to the reporting agencies, and they're places like Uline, Granger, Supply Works. So you can start with these kind of vendors, and whether you use credit line hybrid or starter vendors, you need about a handful of accounts to move to the next step. But before I tell you about the next step, let me say that you can also use fleet credit cards right here to start building initial business credit. If you've got your Fundability online, you can start to apply for a WEX fleet card or a Pilot Flying J, even a Marathon, a Phillips 76. They will give you an initial approval, but they're going to typically require a deposit of $500, and they're going to require that you give a personal guarantee, and the terms will be shorter. Sometimes as short as net 15, which only gives you 15 days to pay back whatever you borrow. So if you're in the transportation industry, like if you're an over-the-road trucker, well, this can help right now in this stage of the business credit building process to at least get one of those credit cards. Now, when you have about 5 accounts in your business credit reports, now you can move on to start getting credit with most major retailers, whether it be Staples or Office Depot, whether it be Home Depot or Lowe's, Sam's Club or Costco, Walmart or Amazon, even Nordstrom and Macy's offer corporate credit without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check, and they'll start to approve you when you have a handful of accounts reporting on your business credit reports. Of course, when you get this credit that reports, you want to pay it on time or early. That's going to give you good scores. Now we have a credit profile. Now we have good credit scores. Now we're getting retail credit. And when we get to at least 6, preferably 8 accounts that are on our business credit report. So if I look at Dun & Bradstreet, Expedite, Equifax, I count how many are on all 3 of those combined, and I see 6 or 8 total. Now I can come in and start to get this fleet credit where they're not going to ask for the deposit. They're not going to ask for the guarantee. So now I'm able to get approved without a personal credit check, without a personal guarantee, and oftentimes these limits are $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 or even higher. Okay, I've seen people approved with Pilot Flying J for as much as $50,000 in use a week. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit at one source. So you're able to get a lot of credit with these sources, but there is a catch, there's a caveat here. A lot of these sources are underwritten by the exact same company. So you don't want to apply for too many in a short period of time. If you come in and get a WEX fleet card, a Marathon, and a Phillips 76 in the same week, what's going to happen is you might get approved for the first one, and then the second or third one, you're going to get denied because they think it's fraudulent. Then they'll pull the approval from the first one. So you really should apply and wait 2 weeks between applying for different fleet cards. I really recommend you wait a month between applying for different fleet cards to avoid this issue. It's one of the most common issues we run into with denials on fleet accounts is people have applied for too many in too short a period of time. They're all underwritten by the same source. The source thinks that it's fraud because too many applications are coming in from the same person, and they deny the applications and pull back the approval on the previous. So make sure you include that 2 weeks, the 30-day time period between applying for different kind of fleet credit cards to avoid that fate. Now, sometimes we even had one happen the other day where somebody actually, the fleet source came to him and said, we underwrite both these cards. We'll give you that approval you're looking for, but we'll pull back the limit on this card. So what would you like us to do? So sometimes if you're lucky enough, they'll give you that choice, but oftentimes you're not. They'll just deny the account. So make sure you avoid that pitfall and don't apply for too many of these fleet credit cards in a short period of time. Look, make sure you grab our business credit building guide that will map out these steps in more details. We dive into more fundability. We give you access to more vendors. You can access that at creditsuite.com/EIN. That's creditsuite.com/EIN. And if you like your business credit reports at no cost, they cost $250 from the bureaus. Well, give us a call for a free consultation. We'll get your business credit reports at no cost. We'll go over them with you. We'll give you tips and tactics to improve your business credit. We'll do a fundability assessment, help you improve your fundability, and we'll do a funding qualification. We'll talk to you about all the loans and credit lines that you may be able to qualify for right now. You can give us a call for that consultation at 877-600-2487. That's 877-600-2487, or you can email us info@creditsuite.com. You can also schedule that consultation online at creditsuite.com/consult. And if you got value from this training, well, make sure you like and subscribe, because I look forward to seeing you on our next training where we talk about more cool ways to get money to start and grow your business.